Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with OddsJam. As you guys know the drill at this point, here to give you some NBA player props to lock in for today, Tuesday, January 31st. Happy last day of January. Again, I am with OddsJam. I'll be using the OddsJam positive expected value page for these player props. If you want to find me on the social medias, you can, as you can see on the screen, on Twitter at Jedi Modi, and then at Pickett, which is a very betting specific app, OddsJam_Matt. Let's get into it. So the first play that we're going to lock in here is Nikola Vucevic over 33.5 points, rebounds, assists. This is at -120 odds, obviously in the Clippers versus Bulls game. It's bolded. It's got the blue rectangle around it as the sign saying, hey, bet me. This is the positive expected value bet. Now, let's kind of detail a little bit what exactly that means. And this is a bet that I locked in, as you can see right here. Vucevic over 33.5 points, rebounds, assists, -120 odds. So when it comes to positive expected value betting with OddsJam, everything is derived from these no vig odds here, right? You see in this column no vig odds, you see the -126.06. We can just round this down to -126. So these odds, the no vig odds, represent the true line, the perfect line of what a market should be priced at. And you're going to ask me, okay, well, how do you know that? Why is that the perfect line? And I will explain it. So if you click into a play, literally just click your mouse anywhere in which it's highlighted blue, pulls up where every major sportsbook prices odds for this play. -120 is what the Bet365 number is. And we see odds all the way up to -155. That's a pretty massive range between the same exact play. Either Vooch is going to go over or under this specific PRA, and that's like a 35-cent gap between two different sportsbooks for the same play. So with that in mind, with that huge gap in mind, well, one of these sportsbooks has to be right and one of them has to be wrong. It simply cannot make any logical sense that they're both an accurate reflection of this market while being that far apart. Either they're both wrong, or the truth is somewhere in the middle, or one's right and one's wrong. So with that in mind, right, while we're in the mind space of a sportsbook being right and a sportsbook being wrong, there are some sportsbooks that are simply better than others at pricing odds. Some sportsbooks that are considered the sharp ones consistently are better at pricing odds than other ones. Again, all sportsbooks have different odds. Not all odds are created, not all sportsbooks are created equal in terms of pricing odds. Some are better than others. In this case, the sharp sportsbooks price this one to be -126. Now you're going to ask, okay, cool, there are some sharp sportsbooks, but how do you know what sportsbooks are the sharp ones? It's a good question. So OddsJam actually backtested and collected data from historical betting opportunities, like thousands and thousands of previous historical betting opportunities, and use that data to have that data tell them who the sharp sportsbooks are. So let's pretend that there are 5. So what OddsJam did was say, okay, the data tells us over large sample and a large sample size, or large sample time, that these 5 sportsbooks are consistently better than others. They're better than the rest at pricing odds. We're going to take the odds from these sharp sportsbooks, basically just find the average, but using a weighted average from the 5, basically saying if there are 5 really good ones, but one of them stands above the rest, they're all good, this one's the best, we're going to give that one heavier weight. So OddsJam removes the VIG and then calculates odds from using a weighted average from all 5 of those books. And that's exactly what is represented in these no VIG odds here. OddsJam OddsJam says, hey, the sharpest books in the world that are consistently the sharpest, price this at -126. Bet365 is giving you better odds, better meaning better for the sports bettor, which is just higher payout at -120. That is a profitable betting venture. It should be priced at -126. We are getting more favorable odds at -120. Bing, bang, boom. That is a profitable bet. So this is my first play of the video. Vooch over 33.5 points, rebounds, assists. Next up, we are looking at DeMar DeRozan over 0.5 made three-pointers, basically makes a three-pointer. This is priced at +137 at the OddsJam perfect line. So there's a 3-cent gap between these two numbers where your profitability comes from. And then what you want to do, I did it for the Vooch one, I'll do it for this one as well. You want to compare the odds of the bet you're placing with the remainder of the sports books and where they price their odds at. Basically, you want to determine whether the odds of the bet you're placing is a true outlier or not. So FanDuel prices this at plus 140. Where does every other sportsbook price it? You want to start with Pinnacle, which is generally regarded as the sharpest. So Pinnacle has this at plus 126. 14 cents lower, that's a good sign. Next up, the next sportsbook is BetOnline. They also price this at minus 126, and they charge less juice, right? The gap between both sides of the line is smaller with BetOnline than it is with Pinnacle. So that's another good sign in our favor. They have it at plus 126. FanDuel has it at plus 140. And then you just want to compare the rest of the sports books, right? The remainder of the markets. DraftKings is generally pretty good with player props. They have this down at plus 115. Caesars at plus 120. And then Bet365 is the only book that's close, but not really closer. It's just 10 cents below at plus 130. So this DeMar DeRozan one is another really good play. And this is my second play for today's video. And I will say, if I could pause real quick, I'm not calling both of these plays a lock. I'm not saying that they're guaranteed to hit or that you're going to win every bet or that you're going to profit every single day. If you want to go back to my OddsJam bet tracker, look at how yesterday went. So 1,000 of this profit was from a future. So in reality, I profited $79 yesterday. And a lot of the player props actually had a rough day yesterday with the player props. I got Franz Wagner to hit. That was one. But then if you look at the rest, I had Sabonis. That one didn't cash. I had I don't know where the other ones that aren't showing up here, but I had a couple other plays that player props I locked in that did not hit. So I'm not saying that you're going to profit every single day. And I will say all this information comes from the OddsJam bet tracker, which is completely free to use. We just did a ton of updates to it. The way it works is, it pulls, or every bet that I place is fed into this information you see here, and it syncs directly with your sports books, which is cool. So my profit over time, and this will take a little bit to load because it's just a ton of data that's being collected because I've been using OddsJam for a while now. But you will see that my profit is generally consistently going up with some down weeks. I think, I had a stretch over the summer where I lost 5 out of 6 weeks. I'm up roughly just below 24K on the year, or total from using OddsJam. But I'm not up every single day. I'm not up every single week. And if you switch this to monthly, as soon as this loads, you will see that I actually had 3 months where I was down. I didn't even profit. I was literally down money in those 3 months. It's not the majority. I've been using OddsJam since September of 2021, and only 3 down months is pretty good. So when you look at it like that, you kind of understand. But when you're in the day-to-day and you have bad days and majority of your bets lose, it can be very frustrating. But if you are consistently placing profitable bets, going through, making sure that you're betting on outliers, I am confident that you will be profitable in the long run. So anyways, back to it. Play number 3, Evan Mobley, under 8.5 rebounds. This is actually offered at plus 110 at BetRivers, so I locked it in at plus 110 at BetRivers. OddsJam Perfect Line prices this at plus 107, as you can see here. And if you compare that plus 110, so FanDuel and PointsBet are closer at plus 108 and plus 105, but look at every other sportsbook. Minus 115 is Pinnacle, BetOnline minus 109, DraftKings minus 115, Bet365 minus 115. Majority of books are in the minus money, with Pinnacle literally having this as a 50-50 outcome, right? They're charging equal amounts of juice on both sides, which is them saying they think it's a 50-50 outcome. We're getting it at plus 110, so locked in this one as well. As you can see right here, Evan Mobley under 8.5 rebounds, plus 110 odds. And then the last one that we're going to lock in here is Jalen Brunson over 24.5 points. This is at plus 105 odds at FanDuel. OddsJam Perfect Line prices it below this number at plus 104.5, as my dog says hello in the back. And then, so even though it's a smaller gap between these two numbers, it's still profitable. I don't avoid lower percent plays. I still want to do the research and see if we're still getting a good line or not. And we are. Plus 105 at FanDuel. PointsBet is close at plus 100. But then we see like Bet365 minus 115 each way. Caesars at minus 108. DraftKings at minus 110. And then, of course, important one here, BetOnline at minus 110. So all in all, still a good price on this Jalen Brunson over 24.5 points. And that's going to be it. So that is going to be 4 plays for you guys to lock in, hoping to have a better player prop luck today than I did yesterday. But that's going to be it. So if you're tailing, comment, let me know. Other than that, hit me up on the social medias, as I mentioned at the beginning, Twitter at JediModi. Like the video, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel, helps me out a ton, and have a good one.